Welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of clinical psychology, focusing on the foundational chapters of clinical psychology, science, practice, and diversity. In this video, we'll explore how the field was defined, how it has evolved, and the essential training models that shape today's clinical psychologists. Whether you're a student, professional, or just curious about psychology, this journey will help you understand the scope, history, and training pathways of this diverse discipline. Let's begin by understanding what clinical psychology really means and how it has grown over time. The term clinical psychology was first introduced by Lightner Whitmer in 1907. Whitmer, working at the University of Pennsylvania, envisioned clinical psychology as a field closely related to medicine, education, and sociology. His clinic initially focused on helping children with behavioral and educational challenges, but Whitmer believed the field could serve people of all ages and backgrounds. This early vision set the stage for a discipline that would grow to address a wide range of human problems, blending scientific inquiry with practical solutions. Today, clinical psychology is defined much more broadly. According to the American Psychological Association's Division 12, clinical psychology encompasses research, teaching, and services that apply psychological principles to understand, predict, and alleviate a wide range of intellectual, emotional, biological, psychological, social, and behavioral problems. This definition highlights the field's expansion and its commitment to serving diverse client populations with a variety of needs. Clinical psychologists now work in many settings, addressing issues from mental health to social adjustment. One of the most important insights from the modern definition is the sheer breadth of clinical psychology. Today's clinical psychologists are involved in many different activities, from conducting research and teaching to providing therapy and assessment. Their goals are equally diverse, ranging from alleviating discomfort to promoting well-being. This variety reflects the field's growth and its adaptability to new challenges and population. As society changes, so too does the role of the clinical psychologist. To become a clinical psychologist, one must navigate a rigorous path of education and training. The field recognizes three main training models, each with its own philosophy and focus. These models represent fundamental choices for aspiring psychologists, shaping their future careers and the balance between research and practice. Let's explore each model in detail, starting with the scientist practitioner model. Scientist practitioner, or Boulder model, emerged from the 1949 Boulder Conference. This model leads to a PhD and emphasizes a balance between clinical practice and scientific research. Students are trained in psychotherapy, assessment, and research methods, ensuring they are well equipped for both clinical work and empirical investigation. Programs following this model are typically housed in university psychology departments, blending academic rigor with practical experience. Practitioner Scholar, or Vail model, was established at the 1973 Vail Conference. This model leads to a PsyD degree and places greater emphasis on clinical practice rather than research. Students receive more coursework in clinical skills and less in research and statistics. Programs are often housed in freestanding professional schools, focusing on preparing students for direct service roles in mental health settings. Clinical scientist model is the most research-oriented path. It prepares students to become leaders in scientific research, often at the expense of clinical practice. Programs following this model emphasize rigorous research training and are typically found in top-tier research universities. Graduates are well prepared for academic and research careers, contributing to the scientific foundation of clinical psychology. Selecting a training model is a pivotal decision for aspiring clinical psychologists. Each model offers distinct advantages in career paths. The science practitioner model suits those who want a balance of research and practice, while the practitioner scholar model is ideal for those focused on clinical work. The clinical scientist model is best for those passionate about research. Understanding these differences helps students align their education with their career goal. Regardless of the training model, all clinical psychologists must develop core competencies. These include skills in assessment, diagnosis, intervention, and research. Training programs ensure that students are well versed in ethical practice, cultural competence, and effective communication. Mastery of these competencies is essential for providing high-quality care and advancing the field. Assessment is a cornerstone of clinical psychology. It involves gathering information about a client's psychological functioning through interviews, tests, and observations. Accurate assessment is crucial for diagnosis and treatment planning. Clinical psychologists are trained to use a variety of tools and techniques to understand their clients' needs and strengths. Intervention is another key area of clinical psychology. This involves providing therapy and other treatments to help clients manage or overcome their difficulties. Clinical psychologists use evidence-based approaches, tailoring interventions to each client's unique situation. The goal is to promote well-being and improve quality of life. Research is central to the advancement of clinical psychology. Clinical psychologists conduct studies to better understand mental health, develop new treatments, and evaluate the effectiveness of interventions. This scientific approach ensures that clinical practice is grounded in evidence, leading to better outcomes for clients. Ethics are fundamental in clinical psychology. Psychologists must adhere to strict ethical guidelines to protect clients' rights and well-being. This includes maintaining confidentiality, obtaining informed consent, and practicing within their areas of competence. Ethical practice builds trust and ensures the integrity of the profession. Cultural competence is increasingly important in clinical psychology. Psychologists must understand and respect the diverse backgrounds of their clients. This involves being aware of cultural differences, avoiding bias, and adapting interventions to fit each client's cultural context. Culturally competent care leads to better therapeutic relationships and outcomes. Effective communication is vital for clinical psychologists. They must be able to listen actively, express empathy, and convey information clearly. Good communication helps build rapport with clients, facilitates accurate assessment, and supports successful intervention. Training programs emphasize these skills throughout education and practice. Supervised experience is a critical part of clinical psychology training. Students work under the guidance of experienced psychologists, applying their knowledge in real-world settings. This hands-on training helps bridge the gap between theory and practice, ensuring that new psychologists are ready to serve clients effectively. To practice independently, clinical psychologists must obtain licensure. This typically involves completing a doctoral degree, gaining supervised experience, and passing a licensing exam. Licensure ensures that psychologists meet professional standards and are qualified to provide safe, effective care. Clinical psychologists are committed to lifelong learning. Continuing education is essential for staying current with new research, treatments, and ethical guidelines. Many licensing boards require psychologists to complete ongoing education to maintain their licenses. This commitment ensures that clients receive the best possible care. Diversity is a defining feature of modern clinical psychology. The field serves clients from all backgrounds, ages, and walks of life. Clinical psychologists must be prepared to address a wide range of issues, adapting their approaches to meet the unique needs of each individual. This diversity enriches the field and enhances its impact. Clinical psychologists work in a variety of settings, including hospitals, private practices, schools, and community agencies. Each setting offers unique opportunities and challenges, allowing psychologists to specialize in areas that match their interests and skills. This flexibility is one of the field's greatest strengths. Roles of clinical psychologists are diverse. They may provide therapy, conduct assessments, teach, supervise trainees, or engage in research. Some focus on specific populations such as children, older adults, or people with chronic illnesses. This variety allows psychologists to find fulfilling careers that match their passions. Clinical psychologists often work as part of interdisciplinary teams. They collaborate with physicians, social workers, educators, and other professionals to provide comprehensive care. This teamwork enhances the quality of services and ensures that clients receive holistic support. Evidence-based practice is a hallmark of clinical psychology. Psychologists use treatments and interventions that are supported by scientific research. This approach ensures that clients receive the most effective care based on the best available evidence. Clinical psychologists are increasingly involved in prevention and health promotion. They design programs to prevent mental health problems and promote psychological well-being. These efforts can have a broad impact, improving the health of individuals and communities. Many clinical psychologists are advocates for social justice. They work to reduce disparities in mental health care and promote equity for underserved populations. Advocacy can involve policy work, community education, and efforts to improve access to services. Technology is transforming clinical psychology. Psychologists now use telehealth, electronic records, and digital assessment tools to enhance their practice. These innovations make services more accessible and efficient, benefiting both clients and providers. Despite its many strengths, clinical psychology faces challenges. These include limited resources, stigma around mental health, and the need for ongoing research. Addressing these challenges requires creativity, resilience, and a commitment to continuous improvement. The future of clinical psychology is bright. The field is evolving to meet new challenges, incorporating advances in science, technology, and cultural understanding. Clinical psychologists will continue to play a vital role in promoting mental health and well-being for all. Chapter 1 provides a comprehensive overview of clinical psychology, from its origins with Leitner-Whitmer to its current scope and training models. The field's diversity, commitment to evidence-based practice, and focus on both research and clinical work make it a dynamic and impactful profession. Understanding these foundations is essential for anyone interested in the field. With a solid understanding of what clinical psychology is and how professionals are trained, we now turn to Chapter 2. This chapter explores the science and diversity that underpin clinical psychology, highlighting the importance of research and the field's commitment to serving all populations. Science is at the heart of clinical psychology. The field relies on empirical research to guide practice, develop new treatments, and evaluate outcomes. Clinical psychologists are trained to think critically, use scientific methods, and apply research findings to real-world problems. Diversity and inclusion are central values in clinical psychology. The field recognizes the importance of serving clients from all backgrounds and adapting practices to meet their unique needs. This commitment to inclusion enhances the effectiveness and reach of psychological services. Clinical psychologists use a variety of research methods to answer important questions. These include experiments, surveys, case studies, and longitudinal research. Mastery of these methods allows psychologists to contribute valuable knowledge to the field and improve client care. Critical thinking is a key skill for clinical psychologists. They must evaluate evidence, question assumptions, and make informed decisions. This analytical approach ensures that psychological services are effective and grounded in science. A major challenge in clinical psychology is translating research findings into practical interventions. Psychologists must stay informed about new developments and adapt their practices accordingly. This ongoing process bridges the gap between science and service. Cultural research is vital for understanding how psychological principles apply across different groups. Clinical psychologists study cultural influences on behavior, mental health, and treatment outcomes. This research helps ensure that interventions are effective for diverse populations. Ethical considerations are paramount in clinical research. Psychologists must protect participants' rights, obtain informed consent, and ensure that studies are conducted responsibly. Ethical research upholds the integrity of the field and safeguards the well-being of participants. Sharing research findings is essential for advancing clinical psychology. Psychologists publish their work in journals, present at conferences, and engage with the public. Dissemination ensures that new knowledge reaches practitioners, policymakers, and the broader community. Diversity in research is crucial for understanding the full range of human experience. Clinical psychologists strive to include participants from varied backgrounds and study issues relevant to different groups. This approach leads to more inclusive and applicable findings. Conducting research in clinical psychology presents challenges, such as recruiting diverse participants, securing funding, and maintaining ethical standards. Overcoming these obstacles is essential for advancing the science and practice of the field. Research in clinical psychology has a profound impact on practice and policy. It informs the development of new treatments, shapes public health initiatives, and guides the allocation of resources. The field's commitment to research ensures ongoing progress and innovation. Chapter 2 highlights the scientific and diverse foundations of clinical psychology. The field's reliance on research, commitment to diversity, and focus on ethical practice ensure that it remains relevant and effective. These principles guide clinical psychologists as they serve clients and advance the profession. In summary, clinical psychology is a dynamic field that combines science, practice, and a commitment to diversity. From its origins to its current scope, the field continues to evolve, driven by research and the needs of diverse populations. Understanding these foundations is essential for anyone interested in the profession. Thank you for joining this deep dive into chapters 1 and 2 of clinical psychology, science, practice, and diversity. We've explored the field's definition, training models, scientific foundations, and commitment to diversity. As clinical psychology continues to grow, its impact on individuals and society will only increase. Stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of psychology.